Ukrainian special forces attacked Russian soldiers with 11 drones on Friday. A hostile installation of anti-aircraft missiles was the target of one of the attacks. The Ukrainian military is using drones to severely harm Russian forces in the eastern Donbas near the town of Vuhledar. The circumstance is extremely complicated. The invasion is being stopped by drone operators based in Ukraine, who are also causing Russia to lose a lot of money. In its most recent operational report, the military's general staff reported on Friday that approximately 7 distinct types of enemy military hardware had been damaged or destroyed nearby. In the conflict in eastern Ukraine, the town of Vuhledar has become crucial. Russian forces have been actively attempting to take it for the past 3 months. Additionally, the Russians could launch an attack in the northeast to begin their anticipated advance toward the forward positions of Ukraine. Around 1.5 years ago, Russia launched a significant invasion of Ukraine that resulted in numerous fatalities and serious injuries. The Vuhledar counterattack has been harshly criticized by numerous prominent Russian military analysts. As the war enters its second year, both sides are sending tens of thousands of elite soldiers and cutting-edge weapons to the front lines to prepare for major offensives. This year, many different things could happen, each with a different chance. Ukrainian military officials say that Russian forces are dispersed throughout the Vuhledar region. Professional units, the recently activated DPR paramilitary group, and the ground forces of the Patriot Private Army Company are all thought to be associated with the Russian Defense Ministry. The Ukrainian government has made it clear that it wants to get rid of all Russian influence in the country. On the battlefield, you need skill as well as the right weapons and equipment to do the most damage. Additionally, a few representatives of the Ukrainian government have stated that they favor dissolving the Russian Federation. While Russian forces continue to control the majority of the region, the Ukrainian army has reclaimed a portion of the territory it lost. In the past 3 months, very little has changed. Firepower remains a significant advantage for Russian forces. Kyiv's most important ally is Washington, which has repeatedly stated that it will support the Ukrainian government and army until Russia is decisively defeated. Analysts believe that while engaged in combat with units armed with anti-tank missile systems and shells, the Ukrainians won't be able to quickly resupply. Ukrainian officials have stated that in the early hours of Tuesday, Russian drones struck critical infrastructure in Lviv in the west, hitting the capital Kyiv and other cities. According to the Ukrainian Air Force, 35 drones were launched and all but 3 were destroyed. The attack on Lviv set off a fire, but no one was hurt, according to the authorities in the area. Both the missile attack on Zaporizhzhia in the south and the raid on Kyiv were described as massive. According to the Air Force, more than 20 drones were launched in waves at Kyiv from Russian territory to the north and the coast of the internal Sea of Azov to the southeast. In 18 days, it was the first of its kind. Maxim Kozitsky, the head of the regional authority, stated in Lviv that Iranian-made Shahed drones had struck a critical target and that fire had broken out. Local officials reported that a number of Iskander-M ballistic missiles were fired at Zaporizhzhia in the south of Ukraine, but that no one was hurt. The governor stated that 3 drones were also shot down over the southern part of Mykolaiv, the majority of the Ukrainian military's current offensive to reclaim territory that Russia seized at the beginning of its full-scale invasion in February 2022 is focused on the Zaporizhzhia region. In his daily television address, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky expressed that in certain areas the military was pushing ahead, while in others they were standing firm on footholds against Russian assault. Hours earlier, Deputy Defense Minister Hanna Maliar stated that Ukrainian forces had retaken the village of Piedikaki in an effort to breach Russia's front line in the southern region. According to her, it was the 8th Ukrainian village that had been retaken in the previous week. The most recent developments have not been independently confirmed. According to Ms. Maliar, Ukraine's advance in Zaporizhzhia had moved some 7 kilometers, 4.3 miles, in 2 directions, toward the occupied southern cities of Melitopol and Berdyansk. The banished city hall leader of Melitopol, Ivan Fedorov, said occupants had seen Russian powers leave the Kherson district further west for the cutting edge in Zaporizhzhia. Melitopol and Berdyansk are on a coastal route that connects Russia to Crimea. This route is important to the Russian military because supply lorries mostly avoid the bridge over the Kerch Strait that connects Russia to occupied Crimea. In the beginning of this month, a Russian MP stated that while the land corridor was functioning normally, the bridge was not thought to be secure. Since the Kakhovka Dam was destroyed on June 6, according to Western intelligence officials, Russian troops have moved away from the front line in Kherson.